Happy December to whichever sign this is. I'm so glad to get back into it. It's been such a crazy busy week, so thank you for your patience. Let me see. Then we'll see who's up. Okay, let's jump right into it. Cancer. Oh my gosh. Well, happy December to you, Cancers. We're going to get right in. We're going to do a crystal resonance overview. And then we're going to get right into the actual spread. Happy December to you. Today is December 7th. So happy Cancer December to you, Cancers. Love you guys. Let's see what we got for your overview. Okay. I love it. Try to get one specialist message. Okay, Cancer. That's more like it. So, I think this is super huge. I'm so excited to do this reading. So we've got prosperity as your overall December message. I think you're going to get from off the top, I think for you, Cancers, December is less of like a gift, an unexpected gift, but more about clarifying the places where you were actually always prospering. I think this year you went through quite a bit of what I think more than most signs was just like a lot of filtration this year. So Cancer has all the New World stuff in your orbit, but it was more so like Cancer having too much that isn't the prosperous stuff also in the same bucket as like all of your process. It's like very like crabs in a bucket. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's too many crabs in your bucket at the end of the day. And so I feel like December is finally bringing you the clarity that was, I think that I also just kind of get this, like, it had to emerge, like the clarity within you, maybe even your spiritual truth really had to come forward. I think it, again, Cancer, you typically tend to be the people that it's like you're the last one to know how valuable you really are in the room, again, because of like the Cancer wounding and what have you. So yeah, off top, I just feel like December has so much prosperity that I think as you're going along and receiving all of this like prosperous stuff from December, it's very important for you, like I said, that filtration, because I think there could be parts of Cancer right now that are not always really grounded in how blessed you are. So that I can see a lot of Cancers doing the like loop thing, doing the like, oh, like things aren't as good, but it's because, again, there was a lot of 2025 that was like, I need you to get more clear. I need you to continue to stay honest, Cancer. I need you to continue to reflect with more of a cunning and discerning lens in terms of like your life and what you're including in it all 2025, because when December comes and it's time for all your prosperity to come to you, I just don't, I do see that Cancer, it doesn't actually stop how like big the prosperity that you have in terms of your reflected value is. I do just think that you will kind of remember what Alexis the Priestess was telling you all year, where it was like, yeah, but then it's like you get to these big achievement moments and it's like they don't feel as amazing as you'd want, because it's like what happens when there's all this other stuff mixed in that kind of like dilutes the value is what I'm hearing. So, you know, when you drink from your cup and there's like shit in it, it's like almost like they're giving me like when you actually, there's like coffee grinds at the end of like a Turkish coffee or something. It's like you want to filter that out in order to have like a less textured experience in your coffee. Okay, so our first card is the Four of Swords and the Eight of Wands. Okay, I also just think that with a lot of the end of this year being a very like Phoenix rising, there's, again, your mental health is super important and your mental stability. So you want to make sure that you're helping yourself. Like the best way for your abundance to like, because this is all this manifesting for you now, Cancer. Like December, I'm telling you, everything all year, all the long-term patience, all of the things that you've been building, they manifest now and very rapidly. it's just really, 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 really important that you know that like your will is in alignment with the Most High. God supports whatever you want to create. The only thing that I'm looking at as being an issue is like, are we lifting ourselves up and stabbing ourselves in the chest by doing stuff that like, because at this point in terms of the astrology, like stuff that's very much like counterproductive for you, counter like your forward momentum gets like really shut down. It also has like very negative, like I saw judgment earlier. It has like it's like a very quick and swift judgment at this time. Things that are already collapsed that can't be resurrected, like it doesn't come back. And so one of the biggest things I think is like Spirit is really wanting you to know. It's like you need to make sure that you are stabilized and that you are just very, very clear on what is really the truth for you. Because again, I just see a lot of Cancers in the ether right now getting caught up on, these are minor things, but it's like how many minor things in a day could actually just lead to you having like an overall like bad day, right? So again, this is where that discipline all year would have really helped, where it was like a lot of people were trying to tell you Cancer, first of all, we got to simultaneously, like you had it the hardest because you had to heal a wound that like took you out of your nature, right? People calling you a side character, calling you ugly, calling you this, calling you that, calling you, thinking of you just as a nurturer or putting you in a role that is so opposite of your nature. You're giving Mother Earth. You get what I mean? Like you're giving the Divine Mother. So it's like you really don't. That's like a way bigger role. That's like calling the CFO the janitor. You know what I mean? It's just like the responsibilities of what you have to prioritize, really, not even like the caliber of work. It's just like there's more responsibilities if you're going to be running the CFO. Cancer, you've always been the CFO. You've always been the CEO of your world. And I think the wound that you had was like you were completely being asked by God to run your world like a CEO, right? So that's always happening. Now, when you're in the veil of unconsciousness, unfortunately, surrounded by these bitches, they've been having you play do less than you were supposed to. So again, you're dealing with all of that because there are parts of your empire that you're realizing like because of the emotional distraction that certain negative entities could have had you in, you're also realizing like there's gaps in my development because I was over here playing with you girls. Like I feel like for Cancer, like your prosperity definitely like there's catch-22s. It's like when you're not committing to your prosperous life, you are also like not just hurting yourself, but it's like you're throwing things out of balance in ways that maybe like you're just really realizing. Like it's not like it's cost-free to, again, continue on loops or karmic cycles or continue to, for you specifically, I'm telling you, like the whatever is associated with you and the playing it too small timeline, whether that's family, friends, old community, old status, old academia, whatever it is for your Cancer, that has to go. 2025, there's a reason why all of that has to be shed. And it's like you get really sentimental because it's like the loyalty over time emotionally that you build to things that you've, and it's not even that you're super loyal to these things objectively. I think it's just like you're really loyal to the fact that like whatever you put your foot forward towards is like valuable to you. So even if you were being asked to be a nurturer, like you value the work that you do as like a nurturer, right? So I think it's like more so the attachment to like the things you do, the work you do, the like impact you do have. But again, this Sagittarius season is, I think it's pushing you a lot more. This is a very delicate balance because this is like, so I'm trying to bust in, but you just want to make sure this is like, you don't move, don't move, don't move. Like, this is almost like if someone, like the final spiritual test for you, like, it's like what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, is like this final spiritual test for you is like fear factor. Like, we're going to put you in this like sharp knife box. You can't move, but we're going to unleash some cockroaches. And like the end goal is like you get $3 million for doing that if you stay still. But you got to stay still in the trap. Like, you know what I mean? You got to stay still in the trap. You got to stay still in the trap. We just saw the sun poke out. Oh my God, Cancer. Yeah. Because look at you. Look at you in your bag. Look at you in your bag. This is also the part of the empowerment that I think they didn't want you to have, which was the King of Cups. I think they're very used to you being Queen of Cups, right? Which is like, you know, over relying on you in ways that don't necessarily like always help, but they want you to be the nurturer instead of like the providing feminine aspect, right? The part of the King of Cups who knows what emotions to bring to a situation. The King of Cups who knows what needs to be added in terms of intuition. He knows what we need to action in terms of downloads and things like that. So a lot of people didn't want you doing that. And so I feel like all of 2025 was a big balance. It was like, in terms of your receptive principle, in terms of your divine femininity, the parts of you that know how to nurture, you're very well versed in that. The things that you needed to get your chops up all 2025 for Cancer, that Spirit is saying, is like your co-creative abilities, your physical ability to like work with magic well. So I think that you, of all people, we talked about this, it was like you really like realized like, oh, actually, like with a little more conscious awareness, I'm actually supposed to be in this group of like magicians and that echelon of esoteric individuals, which is great. But the problem is like I've been too wrapped up in the third dimension. None of that talks about any of that. So I had a long way to go in terms of learning about the spiritual realms. But this looks like a Cancer who was in the kitchen all 2025, learning about the spiritual realms. And in fact, I think the work that you've been doing to like physically learn and bridge gapped knowledge about how to manifest, how to create, how to like use magic as like a discipline for yourself is actually what's also simultaneously helping you to not continue to make loops. I think that's a huge thing. I feel like your insight, and again, Cancers, maybe you're really connected to the studio, obviously, if you're watching this, but like, I think some of the metaphysical knowledge you're getting, this is like being in the lab of metaphysics and doing some chemistry, learning, trying and error. Like, you know, you've been learning all these new things about the laws of the universe, principles of, you know, basic occult knowledge, right? And so with some of those things, you've actually been able to like self-heal. I feel like you've been able to like do some things that like perhaps this is huge. It's like usually, you know, there's third dimensional prognosis. Like this is like, oh, you have cancer, right? But there's always like the spiritual malady or like what's spiritually going on with you, which I think is extremely needed in medicinal practices. In general, you know, it's like we have to really recognize that within medicine we are also dealing with like spirit matter, energetics, right? So those things I think helped you, because I also am hearing this like long running chapter and cycle for you where it was like what was wrong with you could never, it's almost like where you used to be considered as disempowered and a lot of things used to feel like they overwhelmed you, finding an identity in this sort of eighth house occult knowledge, like finding out that you could take this path where it's like I can become proficient. I'm just seeing it's like healing things. Like maybe you were always like, I have ADD, maybe I'm on the spectrum of autism, or maybe I'm like high functioning depressant, maybe I just like really struggle with that. Like whatever these, I feel like there was a lot of third dimensional things that you came to find, not only like it's not about fixing anything, it's about like you're realizing like some of those things that were ascribed to you if you just like go to a physician, a doctor, a medical expert or something. It's like these are like maladies that maybe you were seeing manifest in your body, but you're now realizing were just like energetic based. Like they're things that like once you started doing this like embodiment of your own energetic practice, it like actually helped you more than what I would say is like years in therapy could have helped you, or like you've been all in fucking the same anxiety medication, and it's like then you learn some principles about magic or something that talk about how certain things manifest in terms of like conditions like